Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Night Live with Nick and LG. I've got Nick over here. I'm LG. We're here with the owner and the business partner of Sip and Paint Studios. We got Ryan and John in the house. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having us.
Good. So, what is Sip and Paint?
All right, so Sip and Paint Studio. Oh yeah, thank you, John. It's if you've heard of like a Pinot's palette or a Corks and Canvas, painting with a twist, stuff like that. It's a paint class which you can consume alcoholic beverages throughout. That's how it all started. We are, if not the only, we're one of the only non-franchised versions of it. Because the other ones I just mentioned, they're franchised part of corporation, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But us being the small mom and pop local guys, it takes a bit more effort to get word out about it. Don't have the budget for advertising and whatnot, but everything's produced by local homegrown artists. And yeah, we've been going for about 6 years now. We were originally open at a different location on Division. We just recently moved to that North Point Plaza shopping center where Target is. We're right in between Azteca and Foxy Nails. So we're kind of tucked away there, the little guys. But I took over ownership beginning of 2019, end of 2018, when the previous owner, buddy of mine, moved down to Palm Springs. So took that over, and it's been a learning process for sure, and right as we moved into our new spot, we had some delays before we could start conducting business. And then we set up our soft open, and then Auntie Rona shows up and puts us back. So we haven't been able to do in-person classes at our studio since November of last year. So out of necessity births creativity, or how's that saying go?
Got me.
Something like that. Yeah. So it forced us to kind of get creative on how to bring some money in, pay bills and all that good stuff. So I reached out to my buddy John here, who owns Make Waves Media House. I almost called it the old one. Had a little rebrand, every so often you gotta mix it up. But reached out to John, and that's the last few months we've been working on developing these ideas on how we can get people to participate in classes and incorporate other local businesses, and just kind of bring everybody up, like rise together, as they say. So we'll be doing online and in-person classes going forward. And we've got all kinds of different iterations of that we're gonna unveil time goes on. Yeah, so that's the long wordy version of all that. I hope I answered the initial question.
So for those who haven't been into Sip and Paint, when they go in, what should they expect? Are they expecting like a teacher to run the class, or they just come in? Is there a bar to get the drinks? Like, what should they expect when they walk in?
Yeah, so they could expect an instructor to guide them step by step. It usually takes around 2 hours or so with a little break in the middle. We play a game, give away prizes, and there's a bar, usually an instructor and an assistant or bartender. So you come in a little early, about half an hour beforehand, get your creative juices flowing. And I know, sorry, that's hokey. But
yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Is this a PG show, or is this
No, we pretty much say anything we want.
Okay, just in case some words slip out. I just want to make sure.
It happens all the time.
Okay. All right. They walk in, and we've got a little setup there. We average sometimes anywhere between 8 to 10 people up to almost 40 sometimes, depending. And so we're taking that concept and just trying to expand upon it and broaden it. And that's where John and Make Waves Media House comes into play big time. We've done three online classes so far, and we've got a fourth one coming up on Friday the 19th and there's going to be a drastic shift in production from how the first 3 have been to how this next one's going to be. We've been spending the money, getting the equipment, like we were talking about before we started the show, and like just the cost of one microphone, for example. So it's costly to get started, but we're taking the steps, throwing the money down, and trying to work toward it.
And are you finding out that it's more difficult to do it online classes opposed to doing it in person? Is there a lot more things to overcome as far as that goes?
Well, the materials, that's easier for online. We don't have, we're not providing every piece of the art kit for each person, so if they come into class, we got to provide, the easel, the canvas, the paint, you name it. So with these online classes, we're basically just providing the materials for the instructor, but folks have a chance to purchase like an art kit bundle. So, depending on the sponsor for that class or kind of how we set it up, excuse me. Yeah, so it's a little less involved as far as the setup and materials go for online, but in person you've got that direct contact with people. So it's a different kind of connection. I mean, you still get one with the online class because people can participate in the chat. The instructor can talk directly to them. So I'd say it's a little less labor intensive for online overall, other than setting up all the production stuff. But yeah, they each way has its own pros and cons, and so we're just gonna marry the two together and have them both going.
Nice. Now, I know I haven't asked John anything. I just wanted to kind of talk to you really quick.
Yeah.
I know that you are the new investor, correct? Or the new business partner?
I'm just here to help him with the online streaming.
Okay.
Trying to build that online media presence.
So what made you want to get involved with Sip and Paint and making an Excel?
Yeah. That's a good question. Put me on the spot, man.
I know I did. Sorry.
No, Ryan and I have worked together a lot. Actually, Broken Thumbs was one of the first bands I shot for music videos, is what I mostly do. So it wasn't much of a stretch when he needed help with video stuff. It was like, all right, cool, man. We worked together for 5-6 years already. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of learning the live streaming and all the back end stuff. But yeah, nothing really. That working relationship already.
Broken Thumbs.
Oh, yeah.
Premiere on a certain network.
Yeah. We got Oxygen premiering on MTV on July 20th. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. MTV, VH1, and BET Jams. Kelton helps us qualify for that one. So, but yeah, we're excited about that. That got rescheduled because that got pushed back because of,
the lovely Rona.
Yep.
Yeah. So now I gotta ask, because you say MTV, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm up there in age a little bit.
Way bit.
Hey, leave it alone. I'll be 41 on Saturday.
Excellent. Oh, well, happy early birthday.
Thank you. So, but I remember MTV when it was music television, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't even know how many MTVs there are now. So,
There's
and
at
I'm
least
pretty
3
sure
that I know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure they're up to I don't know. We have to get a justification from
14.
Yeah, I think so. We might be able to catch it on MTV 120.
Yeah, that's what I would have assumed at first, but I don't really know a lot of the ins and outs of how they're going to do it. But I apparently at some point during certain programming, thanks, John, during commercials or instead of commercials or something to that effect, they do music videos now. So, and again, I don't know if that's MTV 1, 2, 10,
30.
Yeah. But so I guess, oh, there we go. Well, so yeah, I guess that's kind of how it's going to work. So yeah, Oxygen is going to be the first video. And then depending on the response there's talks about a few others that we've done together that they'll kind of roll out as time goes on too. So it's for me, it's all about showcasing what John can do on that. The Broken Thumbs aren't necessarily what you would call a functional band these days, but you know, the video gets out there, and you know, somebody money talks. You never know; things could happen. But yeah, it's time for Make Waves to get the spotlight that it deserves, and that's why I was really pumped to get John on board with this, because the the production is going to be there. It's going to be done right, and it's going to look great, and we're going to take the time. And so yeah, I'm pumped to just keep doing that. You know, keep that partnership going.
Now, back to the Sip and Paint. You know, I mean, that's one of the main reasons why we're here. You know, the MTV thing was just, you know, I had
A little,
I had to have a little fun. with
Sure,
that, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I remember the box when it was like on.
Oh yeah,
What was it? Trying to think, UHF channel 52. You know, like, with the dials. You know, and you gotta pay to watch a video. Yeah, I'm old.
The good old days.
Once upon a time. So back to Sip and Paint. Now you guys are based strictly out of your establishment. Do you guys do any outside things? Like, do you expand to like bars or any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah. We actually really love doing any sort of private event, but we also, for public events, yeah, we do offsite stuff. We have since the beginning of just in-person classes, and we're going to continue that as things kind of reopen. But you know, regardless of that, we're also, for some of these online classes, we're going to. It kind of comes back to the sponsorship partnership that we're looking to establish with local businesses. One of the options is we go shoot it at their place of business. You know, just kind of like when you're watching the news, you know, they've got a reporter on scene telling you the story. They don't have to be there, but them being there just adds excitement to it. It gets your attention. So, you know, we've already done it. We did it at Baracho for the last class. You know, we find a quiet spot in the establishment and just run class as usual, play a little game in the middle, and that business will be featured in the sense that you know, they'll have merch or swag available for giveaways. All who attended class will have access to some sort of discount. I mean, it's kind of case by case basis, but that's one of the things we've been developing, is kind of how to present that and present it to the businesses that we want to work with, to, you know, have this mutually beneficial arrangement. And so yeah, you know, we're hoping to do a couple of those a month, maybe, if we can.
So for the upcoming future, I know you guys have a lot of exciting new plans, and you guys are doing a lot of different things. First, when do you guys have a date that you're going to open back up, or a future month, or any idea on what you are going to do that way as far as in-person classes go?
There's not a set date yet per se, but because we're kind of in this gray area as far as what we are considered, if it's a bar, if it's a nightclub, if it's a restaurant, you know. But ultimately, it boils down to what your liquor license is. And in the past, we've had the tavern license, which is you can serve beer and wine. Excuse me, and it's a relatively cheap license, but it's 21 plus only when you're open, so it kind of limits that a little bit, you know. So we're working on ways to kind of change that a little bit, but I'm hoping to have in-person classes back up and running, if not this month, then July or so. And then, excuse me, like I mentioned, we'll also be live streaming some of those from our studio. So folks who are in attendance can, you know, they can participate. You know, we're looking at getting like a 360 camera in there, switching back and forth different angles. So yeah, the sooner the better, but realistically, hopefully by July, get people in the studio.
Perfect. Now, what do you guys have upcoming? I know earlier you had talked about saying you had a lot of exciting things. You have a lot of new things you are trying as far as the online classes. Do you have any news or anything you would like to announce while you're here that's going on that we should let everybody know?
All right. So actually, next Friday, is that the 19th? We're doing another live stream. We've actually teamed up with Ethan from Dynamite Enterprises and his Support Your Local Everything. So he's helped us in kind of promoting everything and helped us get the art kits down to $30 as opposed to $40. And the class is free. So if you want to attend it, all you got to do is pick up an art kit, $30. It's much cheaper than it would be any other time. But you can just follow along on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, kind of any social media platform, Zoom as well. So it's definitely going to be kind of gearing towards offering people the option, if they can't get a babysitter, if they can't make it out, that they have this live stream available, so they can just, put a movie on, and then the, adults can have a date night, whatever, however they want to do it. But so we're going to kind of be doing that mixed with live classes or in-person classes as well moving forward, just to kind of provide more options for everybody.
And just for Sip and Paint, just so I don't know, because I've never really walked in or been in there, do you guys do any kind of contest? Because I imagine you guys have people in there when you're allowed to have people in there. Well, when you have people in there, you have people do art, and you know that some of the art just turns out terrible, and you know that some people are actually really good artists. Do you guys do like a contest, like who's the best artist, or do any certain thing like that?
Well, not involving like the quality of the end product, because we don't want to make people feel bad if theirs isn't quite as up to par as others. So we try to focus more on the entertainment side of it and making it fun, and then throw in a little tidbits of actual knowledge in there with it, so they can take something away. But we want everyone to be just as happy at the end as anybody else. So if somebody's got a Rembrandt here and somebody's got a Jackson Pollock over here, we want them to both feel like they got what they wanted out of the experience along the way. So we don't necessarily do contests based on that, but we do sometimes trivia, art trivia, or a game called Musical Corks, basically like hot potato with the wine cork. Stand in a circle, throw it, music stops, whoever touches it last is out. Get a prize for that. We do like social media games where they check in, take a picture, tag us, tag their friends, whatever. And at the end, whoever has the most likes, we give them a little something, so that kind of helps get the word out about us a little more. And it's just another reason to get people excited to be a part of it. And, that's about it as far as the competition side goes.
So basically what you're trying to say is if I come in there and I do my caveman stick figures, then I'm still just as welcome as somebody that has 20 years experience.
Absolutely. And possibly even more so, because a lot of times the people who are that experienced, they don't even pay attention to the teacher anyway. They're doing their own thing, which is great. Sometimes people come in and paint something completely different, and that's fine too. So yeah, all are welcome as long as you're 21 plus. So we can get around that with the online classes, though. We can have all ages, and we're even going to have some kid-focused ones down the road too, which I think will help the parents when they, need something for the kids to do some afternoon or evening.
So your art teachers, your art instructors, I'm not huge in the art community, so I don't know this, but how do you guys pick or decide or figure out who your guys' art teachers are? Do they have a certain amount of experience? Do you just know a bunch of local artists? How do you guys find instructors? Is it the same instructor every time? Are there multiple instructors?
No, we've got 3 instructors right now, but we might be looking to expand on that, considering the opportunities that we're looking at throwing out there going forward. But the way we ended up with the 3 instructors we have now, let's see, Aaliyah, that was just by chance. I was at grocery outlet getting some supplies. She was bagging groceries, I think, in the line I was in, and she's like, why are you buying 4 cases of wine or whatever it was. And it's like, oh, it's just, I have a problem. But no, I told her what I did, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm an artist. Can I apply? And like, yeah, absolutely. And, now she's one of the best that we've got, and then a couple of the other gals, it's, somebody knows somebody who can paint and so on. So you just kind of meet up, and, as much as it is about somebody who's technically capable to paint and instruct the class, it's also personality, ability to interact with people in class, so we don't want it to feel like a class environment so much as, everyone's kind of participating together on the same level, and we just got someone up there guiding them step by step to kind of keep everybody on track. So, yeah, looking to bring on more people as the schedule allows, because I don't want to take away from those who are already working with us, but I do want to open it up and make it as inclusive as possible. Want to start featuring the artwork that they do personally as well. So instead of just the stuff we're teaching, stuff on our schedule, I want them to be able to bring their pieces in, sell them at the studio or online, however we arrange that, and to make it more about the art community in the area.
Put on like a consignment kind of thing.
Yeah. So like your typical art gallery, they'll either charge a percentage of your sale and or make you work there while it's being displayed. So, come up with something kind of along those lines. Gotta remember to breathe. Just talk. Inhale too.
But breathe. And we've talked to bartenders. You actually talked about Ethan helping you guys out, and we actually had Ethan in here.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ethan's a really cool guy. We love Ethan. Ethan's awesome. So now we have a business owner, so we can get more in depth on the business side. I know everybody's so sick of COVID and this and all the crap that's going on. You guys, you said you guys haven't been open for how many months? 4 months?
7 months now.
7 months?
Yeah, since we moved out of our previous location, we haven't been open, like physically open at the studio, since November of 2019. We've done a few offsite events, and we've done these online classes. That's all well and good, but we gotta step it up. We gotta do more of them. We gotta make them better so more people want to join in. Because what we've been doing is fine, but it's not enough to keep the lights on. You own a business, you're not just paying rent for your house, you're paying rent for your work and all the utilities, so everything's doubled. So, it's like I've been telling people, it's right now it's like twice the hustle for half the return. But you love it. If it's something that you're passionate about, it still doesn't feel like work. It just keeps you busy. And I haven't felt more motivated and excited about my career and what the plans are going forward than as excited as I am now. So like I said, out of necessity is born the creativity, and it kind of sparked that within me.
And I'm actually shocked, because I'm starting to realize the more this goes on that a lot of the like larger corporations and companies, like they're starting to go, and actually a lot of the smaller businesses are actually staying alive for the most part. And I don't know if that's part financial or if they have more of a passion because that's what they love and kind of like that's where their heart's at, opposed to like a big old corporation.
Yeah, there's definitely more. Again, I'm not trying to take away from corporations or franchises, but I think small business owners, there's just already so much of themselves personally invested that it's not even necessarily a choice. You just kind of have to bust your ass that much harder to stay afloat, stay alive. And again, if it's something you're passionate about, it means a lot to you. It doesn't feel so much like a burden. It's just like, well, all right, we got to do this now. And that can be either inspiring or, kind of the other way for some folks. It just depends, if you feel like you can rise to the occasion. And I think it's forcing both of us to kind of play our best hand now, because that's the only way we're going to be able to keep doing it, So we're pulling out all the stops.
Now, you guys said you're doing this online. Are you affiliated with any specific place, or do you have like a website that you can go to and access the videos?
Well, right now, we're kind of just building all the online content. So we've done 3 classes already. We've got those, I think, for the most part, recorded, with the exception of maybe one. But the goal is to have an online library that people can access either through probably YouTube, most likely. But so for every live stream we do, there'll be a fee. It'll be private. Kind of like the in-class, you got to pay to play. So after that, we'll wait a certain amount of time before that class becomes available to the public. So it's fair for everybody. Then people can either rent it, or still kind of working out the details on that. But the goal is to have a back library of previous paintings. If there's one you wanted to do that maybe you couldn't have made it to, all right, well, YouTube's got a full library of classes up to this point. You can pick from any of them, rent them for a couple bucks. But yeah, and that'll be good too, because we'll have the art kits available in studio. So if anybody just wants to pick up an art kit anytime, they can just pick it up, hit the backlog on YouTube, pick a painting. There you go. So it's kind of more options for people. But as of now, it's just kind of building that. So
yeah, I just noticed Jacob up here posted the I don't know if you can bring that back up. The there it is, the sipandpaintstudio.com.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So yeah, that's our website. It has all old graphics and everything. As you can see, the logo now is the paint palette with the wine glass in front. Not dogging on the old stuff, but with the rebrand of sorts, we're gonna have this website updated. But yeah, sipandpaintstudio.com. You can see upcoming events. Sign up for them there. MakeWavesMediaHouse.com. Do you have a .com right now? All right, because he had a name change too. So, but Facebook, Instagram, we'll be linking everything across all of our various platforms. Dynamite Enterprises too. We'll be sharing some stuff for this upcoming class. Anyway, we're kind of using Ethan and Dynamite as an example of how we want to include other businesses on the sponsorship levels. So, he came down and met up with us and was excited to be a part of it. So, but yeah, ultimately sipandpaintstudio.com to sign up. This free class that we have coming up, not all the classes are going to be totally free like this. We're mainly trying to just get awareness out there. But, if it is a free class, people can just hop onto Facebook, YouTube, whatever their preferred platform is, and follow along. If they already have their own art supplies, they don't even have to let us know they're coming. They can just tune in and watch. But yeah, so that's kind of the extent of, we got YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, Zoom, Facebook, Instagram, all the usual suspects there.
So when you guys decided to take over the Sip and Paint, what decided to make you guys go, okay, let's do this. Let's buy out Sip and Paint. Let's start this up. Are you an artist yourself, or did you look as far as the alcohol sales, or just go, hey, this is a good idea financially? What were your thoughts and ideas on, hey, let's get this up and going?
Yeah. Well, initially, like I said, a buddy of mine, he's a very talented artist. Hef, he goes by, his artist name is Hefferson. He was the original owner, and I met him from when I bartended downtown for a number of years. He initially moved away, ran into the paint and sip industry, wanted to bring that back here to Spokane. So he was telling me about it, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm in. Let's do this. So I just kind of helped him run it for the first almost 5 years. As just kind of like a studio manager. I wanted to kind of leave the bar scene behind. The money's good, but you play as hard as you work sometimes. So I just kind of was like,
agree.
Yeah. So
I get that.
Yeah. So, I was like, well, this is a kind of a good way to transition out, I even though we're just pouring beer and wine, it's still the bartending element. There's a lot more to it than just pouring a drink, you know? So I was like, I can take this experience and apply what I've learned while running this studio with him. And he was ready to move away. And he's like, well, we can call it good when this lease is up, or we can, you know, give it to you. Well, not give it. It obviously
Yeah, obviously.
it wasn't free, but and you know, I don't like to call myself an artist because I've only been doing it as long as I've been working with Sip and Paint Studio, but I definitely developed an affinity for painting. You know, we've all taken art classes in the past here and there, but it's been a long time. So I wasn't any more, and I'm still not any more experienced or qualified than anybody else. I just discovered a new outlet because you know, I do music as well. So the creative outlet, that's a huge part of it. So having kind of brought that along in addition to, you know, my past experiences, it just seemed like the right thing to do, you know, be your own boss. It seems all well and good until you get into it, and then it's well and good, but there's a lot to it. You know,
A lot of work.
So you definitely have to love what you're doing. So I've figured out that I do in fact love it, and this is, you know, I get to kind of hopefully pay bills via the arts, which is kind of the dream. So just went with it, and now we're in survival mode. So this is how we're trying to do it.
So before we wrap up here, because we're getting down to that time, and we do want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming out and gracing us with your presence.
Oh,
the
pleasure's all ours.
Just if you want to give a quick shout out, let these people know where they can find you. You know, maybe once you guys get open, if you guys got like a set price, if you got any major events coming up.
Yeah, I mean, right now the only thing scheduled next Friday, the 19th, we've got a free class. Anybody can do it. All you got to do is get a canvas kit if you don't have one. Other than that, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Make Waves Media House, and we'll be just working towards bigger and better things for Sip and Paint and more. So,
Nice. And where is that located? Just for one more time here, because I heard you.
Mhm.
You know, you got.
Well,
you got?
So the studio, the Sip and Paint studio location is in the North Point Plaza Shopping Center on North Newport Highway, where Target is. We're near Olive Garden, in between Azteca and Foxy Nails. I think the address is actually 9718 North Newport Highway, something like that. But we're
pretty much up there.
yeah. And like I said, we're new there, so I don't think we show up on all the map apps necessarily just yet. But that's where they can come for the in-person classes, or to pick up art kits, other art supplies you might need, buy paintings. Just come in and have like some free painting time. And then Make Waves Media House is everywhere you need it to be. Yeah, the editing suite is located in East Valley. No, and you know, I having worked with John for a number of years before this, you know, I'm excited to try to be as much of a part of other projects that Make Waves is doing going forward as well. Just because, you know, we kind of have our own shorthand language right now at this point, and we, you know, when you kind of get that business bond, if you will, you know, it's hard to kind of venture out elsewhere for those sorts of things. So we're looking forward to not only expanding the Sip and Paint studio plan, but we've got other offshoots that we're excited to roll out once we've kind of got this, you know, up to par.
All right, so I guess that's going to do it for us. Ryan, John, thank you guys for coming out. Make sure you catch these guys at Sip and Paint Studio. As soon as they get back open, make sure to check them out online. That's Nick. I'm LG. This is Night Live signing off. Good night, y'all.
Thank you.